Ahoy,
Wee
mateys.
woo.
Hello.
Hola.
Hi, everyone. It's me, Elise, your GM for the night. Um, with us tonight are only some of the players because if you have been tuned in for the last week or two, then you know we have a party split going on and also players who cannot currently play. So it worked out really nicely. Last week we didn't have Ava, but this week we do. And last week we did have Tyler, but this week we don't. So we resolved Tyler and Rachel's characters stuff last week, and we're going to resolve Ava's this week, as well as finish up resolving Sam and Sarah's character stuff this week. That is the plan, and then we're off next week, and the following week we'll come back together for a Spire, more Spire. Okay. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us tonight. Helpful Goat's a cool place to hang out, and you can do that with us more if you want by doing things like joining the Discord with !Discord to find that link. Um, you can also use !donate like Sam just did in the chat to find out about causes that we are supporting that are near and dear to our heart. Currently, Hope for Haiti in the support efforts in the wake of the natural disasters that have occurred there. And as Ava did, !merch to see all the cool art and merch that we have from our various shows and stuff. And we're currently featuring artists in our community. I think Chelsea's art, McKeck art, is the featured art currently. Very beautiful, very cool stuff. And the proceeds go to artists that we love and know and support in our own community. So,
Emulsify.
so
It's your deep cut to Dom and Dragons, everyone.
there you go. You heard it here. Yes. So those are cool things you can do with us in the Discord commands. Tomorrow we're playing Tier Moon Trial, and that's gonna be great. It always is. And
I think it's like the penultimate session.
my God, don't
We're
say
like
that. I'm not ready.
I don't like all those words.
Penultimate means second to last.
No, I said I don't like. I know what it
Oh,
means.
I was like, Sarah, how do you not know what penultimate means?
I took the GRE twice.
But did you ever score as high as me? No, I'm kidding.
I don't know.
I
Maybe.
have
Let's
no
compare
idea.
scores.
Yeah, let's compare scores.
Live.
GRE live.
I don't do public math.
Oh my God. Okay. Just kidding, everybody. Sarah and I don't have any kind of academic rivalry. In fact, when I was an academic, we were a very good team. We were great at researching
True.
together. It was good times. Anyway,
Yeah, but who won? Who won being the best teammate?
Elise, because she escaped the game, and
I was
that's the
gonna say
only way to
Sarah
win.
because she's still tenure track, and I was like, I have to go. So I guess it depends on your definition of winning. I won for what was right for my life, that's for sure. Don't stay in academia, kids. It sucks your
We're
soul.
all winners here.
We're all winners. Okay. Weird cuts tonight. It's that's the mood tonight. Weird cuts. We do also have a poem by Chelsea. Does anyone want to read it? Shall I read it?
Haven't read it in a while.
Yeah, Sam,
so
read
I'm
it.
gonna do it. Visions of terror and deep mysteries continue to form and unfold. Here in a world so unique and so bold, the ministry, cults, gods, demons in all their fashion. No matter what occurs, this group continues to shine with their talent and passion. So bring on the mayhem, rich narrative, and all the laughs to Much Love Spire Crew. I can see and hear you.
Yay!
Yay!
As always,
good.
incredible poetic prowess showed off by Chelsea. So thank you so much. Again, I know I say it all the time, but it's true every time I say it. It's one of the highlights. It makes my heart very happy every time you write us a poem. So thank you. Yeah, Rachel, it's weird having you as a viewer. Like you can always pop in if you want. Um okay. Where does that put us? That puts us at needing
Intros?
intros. And my name is Elise. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am your GM tonight, and I will pass things to Ava.
Hello, I am Ava. I am playing as Chu. Both of our pronouns are she, her, hers. And today's snack pack sponsor is this bottle of wine called Sophia Brut Rosé from Monterey County. Nice. I will pass it off to Sam.
Hey y'all, I'm Sam. I go by he, him, his, as does Edik Showmusa. And I'm gonna pass it to the person who in your camera right now is doing this.
Isn't that just you?
Oh, it's Sarah. It's Sarah.
Oh, I get it now.
My shit, it like froze, and so then I was like, because I'm on my phone, and so like I switched to mobile to try to get back in, and so I like missed what was happening. Anyway, I'm Sarah. I played Din. Our pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm off camera today because I fell down the stairs today. And I am not like actually injured, I don't think. But I have some like tailbone aching and hurtiness, so I'm laying in bed.
Yeah, I hope
And
you feel
we
better.
support your need to not be sitting in a computer chair right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Are you snacking on anything,
tailbone stuff is the
Sarah?
worst.
I'm not snacking on anything, but I did just have some cheese enchiladas prior to
Another
this.
stream
Delicious.
sponsor, y'all.
I
Mhm.
have a beer on my desk that has been on my desk unopened for over a week now because I think I brought it down to drink during Spire last week and then didn't and then left it here unopened for the entire work week. So I've been just working with a beer on my desk all week. It's fine.
Ah, yes. This episode sponsored by stale room temperature beer.
It's not open. It's not stale. It's
Oh,
it's
okay.
still closed. Anyway,
That's
not a
fair.
sponsor.
It is
Um,
an absolute sponsor.
yeah, I don't have any snacks handy though. So
There's a
no
plant behind you.
I'll have a
there are plants.
I'll have a sponsor for the second half.
Okay, that works. I'm trying to
I'm sure Rachel can tell us in chat what her snack pack sponsor is.
Yeah. Hey, viewers, what's your snack pack sponsor?
Lots of alcohol from
who's
this side of
sponsoring the
things.
chat right now?
Yeah, lots of alcohol on over here.
Okay, so let's get stress checks, and then we're going to do a really brief recap. The goal here is that next week or next time that we're not next week, but the week after when we're all together again, we're going to have to do a more in-depth recap because we'll have to catch Ava up on some things. We'll have to catch Tyler up on some things. So we want to just do a pretty brief recap of where we left everybody off from last session. And then move straight into Ava and choose current conundrums. So I would like to get your stress, and then Edik, we're just keeping your ability from last time, I believe, right? Your special ability. Okay, cool. And I think that's all we have to do is just get stress and then recap. So, Din, what is your current stress?
Let me tell you. We're working on it. And here it is. It is 4.
Okay, that's what I have as well. Edik?
I'm at 0 because
nice.
last time I took a minor fallout. No, wait, I took a regular fallout. I wrote a minor fallout. It was a regular fallout.
Sorry, I got distracted by Rachel saying that there's a weird sound when I talk. Sometimes my mic gets weird because it has like a weird short. So I'll try unplugging it and replugging it in a second here. And Chew.
She said it's happening when Sam's talking too. I have 1 total stress. I have 2 reputation resistance build up and 1 to reputation. And it's because I dissolved that one lady's rope because she had it coming. She
Cut
didn't
to
actually. I'm
Okay.
sorry. She's probably innocent.
Chicago. She had it coming.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't know
she's
what
a
that is.
cop, so.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
that's true. Are guards like cops or are they like?
Yeah, it's hard to say, but I mean, in a city like Spire, okay, you know what? Let's not get into it.
Let's
Let's
talk
just
about
not.
the intricacies of the
Let's just.
hegemony ruling over the different layers of Spire and the
Yeah,
tools
and
of
all the ways
conquest that
that
they
we're
use.
complicit in our own subjugation. Yeah, so that's
Mm.
fun. Let's go on with a quick recap. What happened the last time you played, players?
Swan died.
Ava
That's
wasn't
done.
even here for that detail.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the last time that Ava played, Chu was schmoozying it up with the guard lady. Um, the people in Lower Perch said they've seen a lot of new people coming and going. Um, uh, Chu then went down some walkways, saw that the lists of missing people were much larger than we had originally anticipated. And the vigilantes, the bound, was it the bound that stopped Chu? The
Yes.
bound stopped Chu because one of them saw her schmoozing it up with one of the police guards types, and that's where we left off with Chu. And then with Din and Eddic, we saw that in New Heaven, we made it up to New Heaven, saw that, there is the very evident signs of a demonic incursion. The place where the demonic labs were that we had investigated very early on in the season, Arcchunk, uh, had been melted and reformed. The roads were like Lahar. That was my new vocabulary
Yes, new
word from
vocab
last
word of
time.
the day.
People everywhere were just dead. The windows had been vaporized. There were like massive, like Cthulhu, like tentacle scratch marks on the walls. Kraken level, I wrote. And then upon trying to do my little tea ceremony. Oh, you know what? I'm supposed to have rolled a mind stress from that. A D3. Um
Did we not do that? We wiped your stress got reset because you
yeah,
did
yeah,
take
yeah.
fallout.
It would have been wiped, yeah.
Yeah, let's just not worry about it. If we didn't roll it at the
Yeah.
time, we didn't roll it.
Okay, yeah. Because immediately after I did the tea ceremony and took like my first whiff of the tea, Lombre, the goddess of the dark side of the moon of the ministry, um
I was thinking
decided
Mulan,
that
the song about the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
Dark
deci-
side of the moon.
dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, decided that they wanted to make an appearance for Din and myself, and things didn't go so hot with Eddic. Eddic has not really had a reason or has been convinced in the means and methods of the ministry to join, and then proceeded to take a fallout from that, which was memory holes, and I'm conveniently enough, I totally forgot that happened. Memory
It's
holes.
Mhm.
perfect.
I don't remember the ministry at all.
Well, you remember the
Uh,
ministry exists. You don't remember that you have been working with the ministry.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't. I wrote I don't remember the ministry. That's cool too, I guess. And the people that I'm hanging out with and solving murders and shit are just friends.
Just friends that you solve murders with.
Does this mean that
You're the Scooby Gang.
oh man, what's their name from also early in the season?
Lukash?
Lukash. Yes, Lukash. they're just a person that gives me jobs.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, like
Sure.
it's just like, you guys are motivated to find out what's going on in your community, and it's not ministry related as far as
Okay.
Etic is
Yeah,
concerned now.
Lukash is your Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, sure. That's how I'll justify this.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then on the super duper briefly on the Alvi and Dracul divines and entrails, is that what? Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yep. They met with Io, and Io, through a series of very interesting dialogue, they ended up encountering the corpse of Callisto Brox. Did a little drawing.
So good. So cute.
Love it.
And Dracul basically talked with the spirit of Callisto, and yeah, now it looks like, long and short of that, is that Io is now sort of working alongside of Dracul to take down Juasha. And yeah, that's that for now. And so yeah, I think we're starting with
and
Chu.
anything
So
from Sarah you wanted to add?
So I called a bunch of birds to protect me,
Fuck yeah.
and then I asked them to do a synchronized dance to distract the guards.
This is
Very
true.
important. And with the tea ceremony, with my vision, the strength of my phobia has receded slightly as I have kind of gained more purpose, because basically, as far as I understood it, my vision told me that the spire is going to fall in 5 days.
Yes.
So that's where we left off.
Out of everything that we covered today in the recap, I feel like, unfortunately, like the one thing I'm going to remember more than anything is the synchronized bird dance.
That's not unfortunate. That's the way it should
My
be.
work here is done.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Rachel, go home.
No, I love it.
Okay. Yeah. So Ava, let's pick up with Chu and the 3 bound vigilantes who are
Did we
now.
recap what I was doing? Do we need to? We don't.
Sam did. Did you want to add anything?
No, Sam, you did such a good job. Proud.
thanks.
You gotta
Sorry, I'm like,
slow down on the wine, babe. You gotta make it through your part, or I'm gonna be pissed.
I'm putting it down.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
you are in the middle of this group of 3. One of them has kind of used their body to kind of shove and push you into the one who's standing in front of you, and you have just had the other one say, "Yeah, this is the one I saw talking to the guards up there."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and roll compel because I can clearly tell that they're bound, right? And that they're like trying to start shit because I'm in with the guards. And I'm gonna basically be like, if y'all had stuck around, then maybe you would have seen what happened after I spoke with the guard and left. Suffice it to say that I'm sure she'll have a short and quick fall and quickly be removed from Spire for good. But surely the great and respectable bound would have done their due diligence and followed both parties afterwards.
Yeah, go ahead and roll compel. This is going to be low society and compel.
Fuck. Nailed it. A 3. How's that
Okay.
feel?
Yeah, and with a 3, you do take stress as the one who talked to you first has like a baton in their hand and just whacks it into your shin. And you are going to take.
Oh my gosh.
Where are my dice?
Can I do
Come
something
on.
as a reaction to that after I take the stress?
You take 1 on a d6.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
I'm up
So
to 2 stress.
Okay, so you did it's not a resistance or anything. It's just on your plus
No,
stress. Okay.
I'm weak.
Yeah, and so
baby.
and they kind of like she whacks this into your shin. She's like, "Don't act like you can just talk your way out of this. This is us versus them. It's a war zone in here."
And then as a response, Chu is going to Chu is going to birth horrid creatures
Oh,
into the
good.
world. I will mark D3 stress to blood or mind and retch up a writhing mass about the size of both my hands clenched together. When it hits the ground, it will explode into a swarm of highly venomous flapping creatures, which look something like a cross between moths, horseflies, and maggots. They spiral around me, and anyone who dares to approach me takes D3 stress as a matter of course. No idea what that means still. Repeated each time they act in your presence. Most sensible people will just run away.
Okay.
And I will take the D3 mind stress and not like shunt any of it off. I'll just take it to the
Yeah,
face
we'll go ahead and roll that.
like a
Slash R
pro.
space D3. And Sam, will you roll a D10 for me, please?
Oh, I took 3. Okay, cool. That's fine.
9.
Nice. That's good, right? For
That's
me.
how many people are in the vicinity because you are just
Oh my
on
god.
the streets, Chew.
Nice.
Okay, 9. Yeah, good. Okay, so first we need to roll Fallout for Chew. So Ava, go ahead and roll a D10.
Yeah.
And you took all 3 of this to like full stress.
No, I'm at 4. I had 1 mind resistance, so I'm at 4 total.
So
Okay.
technically, it should be 9 fewer people are now in the streets because they're sensible and ran
Yeah, they're
away.
sensible and ran away. Okay, with a 6,
6.
yeah, you are safe from fallout from this. Rachel, it's good, right? No.
Oh.
Okay, and okay, yes, pedestrians around you, just kind of normal civilians who are out and about trying to make their way, heads down, not making eye contact with what's going on with the bound harassing this kind of cloaked woman. Um, do all just start to scream and flee as you vomit up.
I
What?
believe the term was a writhing mass of moth, horsefly, and maggot hybrids.
Yes, that. And um
Yeah, classic.
Sam gets
uh
to drawing.
yeah,
I
so
was gonna say it shouldn't be vomit. It should be like you sneeze it up because your name is.
shoot.
Oh god.
Okay. Yeah, so
That's good.
the first bound vigilante person just full does what the civilians are doing. This is the one who kind of like pushed you into the person in front of you, screams, runs the other way. The other two start to like it's like stomp on things and like holy, and one of them like goes to grab you and detain you because this is a threat to perch, which is what they are sworn to. So how much damage do they take in when they
Uh,
act in the presence of these things?
it says D3 stress. It doesn't say to what. It just says
That's
as a
okay. They'll
matter of course.
NPCs don't have separate stress, so NPCs just
Okay.
take stress. So yeah, go ahead and roll your D3, and they'll both take that much stress.
Cool beans.
2.
2. And then ideally before they would come at me anymore, if they're not running, I would do something else, but I don't know how like you want to play this out in
Yeah,
terms
so
of.
one of them was kind of like going to grab you, and like these things are like crawling on them. It's like acidic, it's like biting into their armor and stuff. One of them loses their balance on the side of like where they're standing and starts to slide off the edge and goes to like grab you and pull. Now here's the thing that we have not talked much about in Perch. How dedicated is Chu to roping herself into the support structures of Perch? Does she walk around with her god rope constantly attached, or is she more cavalier about it?
Chu is probably pretty cavalier about it.
Okay, go ahead and roll resist for me. And you can
Oh
roll
shit.
low society resist.
Oh no.
Can I roll occult because I have bugs around me that I can hold on to?
No, you cannot hold on to a pile of maggots and save your grip. They would just fall with you.
Please. Okay, so that's not ideal, is what I'm gonna say off the
You don't
bat.
have anything. Okay, yeah, that's a 4. So
That
that
is
is
a
a failure.
4.
And so as this person like
She's just gonna
loses
like die in a scuffle, like with
um
like some random ass people.
yeah, the person in front of you who's like trying to grapple you in response to this, but loses their like. I mean, 2 stress is a lot of stress for just kind of a person, and they kind of like lose their support a little bit and pull on you to try and steady themselves even though their rope it's just that gut reaction, right? And so now you are flung off the side of Spire, but you do have the benefit of the person who was pulling on you has not like totally lost their grip on you, and you don't totally lose your grip on them, but you are now feet off the edge of perch. And what you have going for you is you are holding on to a person who, up until now, your bugs are currently attacking. And
I'm holding on to them, right? Not like the rope that they're on or anything.
correct, you're the person, and the person's rope is attached to the gutter, which is how it's
Okay.
supposed to be.
Yeah. I guess I'll start like climbing up.
Okay. Yeah, they're going to kind of like twist and like try to get like themselves back on perch because like their feet are off, but they are safe with their like rope attached. So they're going to do that, which means you can go ahead and roll D3, and they will take additional stress from acting in the presence of your bugs.
Yeah. 3. I think
Yeah,
they're probably dead.
they are dead. They do the bugs as they are desperately scrambling to get back on the side of perch, and you trying to scramble up them to get yourself much less secure than them. The bugs like eat through their. Oh, this is gonna get a little gory, but like yeah, like eats through like on their neck and stuff. Like they have all that like the bound like wear those straps all around their bodies and things, and you see the bugs going into and under, and like as they do, like there's just this horrible sound as like as they scream as like their flesh is like eaten away quickly by by these bugs that you have
Yeah.
summoned. So
Nice.
and
She
they are
was gonna
dead.
like
The other
climb
person
over them
ran.
and like hold on to the rope and like swing her way out and just like get back onto land.
Um
And then pull out her dagger and just like cut the rope and like let it
yeah,
fall.
yeah, I think that like you have nothing
Impeding me really.
impeding you from doing this. And we'll just we'll go ahead and say like Sarah, will you roll a d10 for me?
Sure.
Oh no,
Don't sound too
Sarah,
happy
please.
about it.
Is that good or is it
A
bad?
4. Ava, let's make this contested. So you need to a 4 is bad for you. So let's say you need to match or roll lower than the 4. So you need to get a 4 or lower on this d10.
Can I take mastery because I climb a lot of ropes as a performance artist lady?
Yes.
Oh, 8 and a 5. Okay.
8 and a 5. Okay. So what's happening is the bugs that you have released that are acidic and corrosive are burning through the god rope. And you are scrambling your way up, and it is fraying as you are doing this. And the motion that you're trying to get of that swinging motion to get yourself up, you do successfully do it on a 5, but you're going to take stress. I will roll
I
it.
got an 8. I got an 8 too.
No, you needed lower than the 4. It was contested. It was like a contested
Oh, I
roll.
needed
I said that
lower.
very
Oh, okay. I thought I
directly.
needed higher because like
No.
higher rolls are like
No,
better on
no.
skills. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
no,
okay.
typically you are correct. We were doing something a little off the cuff there,
Oh, okay.
which
I
is
get it.
why I
I get
said
it.
you need to get 4 or lower on this to beat it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you are going to take 3 stress to blood as you kind of like have to kind of like
Jesus.
slam your body in and scramble in such a way that you like cut up and get splinters all, and your dress is a little torn and everything. Does that put you at how much
I'm at
stress?
7.
Oh God.
Okay, go ahead and
Just
roll
a
that
standard.
D10. If
Yeah.
on a 6 or lower, you will take fallout from this.
Oh my god, my rolls today are
That's a
legendary.
9.
9. Let's let it keep going
Okay.
higher. Why not?
Okay. You are now safely back on the walkways of Perch. Behind you, the bugs are starting to corrode through the walkways now, because you did just vomit up a pile of them, and they are just swarming around, and they are just corrosive to touch. So the wood of the walkways of Perch is starting to kind of corrode and crumble under, as well. But you can continue moving forward. And now there is solidly nobody around because all
Does
9 of those people who did witness this sure ran for their lives.
does destroying part of Perch count as destroying something beautiful for a small refresh? It's okay,
Is
I'm
Perch
stretching.
beautiful?
Is
I
Perch
mean,
Would-
to the
beautiful?
people there,
Does Chew
yeah.
think Perch is beautiful?
It's not about what Chu thinks, it's about what other people think. Because that's like the whole Hungry Deep is like there to decay what people find beautiful.
Well, you destroyed a god rope.
That's
You
why she's
destroyed
an
a god
idol, 'cause
rope.
it's like the beauty of
I think
like,
that
yeah.
the destruction of the god rope. Oh my god, what is that, Sarah? It is noisy.
I'm getting an ice pack for my
Okay,
area.
I'm sorry. I forgive you, and I apologize for being so abrasive about the sound.
No,
It was just crunchy, you know.
I understand.
Yeah, you can roll a you can
D6.
roll. I feel like this is a D3, and I'm going to justify this as it is beautiful, but maybe this actually works against my justification. You can roll a D6.
If you did make it a D3, could I just then make the case for a D6 because I've destroyed 2 of them because I kissed that other one?
No, this is different situation, but
Okay.
I think this. Well,
Yeah. It's cool. I restore 2 stress.
where are you
I will
taking them from?
restore it to
Blood?
body. Or blood, yeah. Sorry. So I'm down to 5.
Okay.
Jesus. Okay. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and you can go ahead and proceed.
Yeah. Chu will keep walking, and while she does, she will kind of pull out her makeup. I don't remember if I had done this yet or not, but I wanted to use glamour to look more attractive to.
You did that with the guard.
Yeah. So it's once per situation. This is a different
I did
situation.
literally just say this is a different situation, so you can have it.
Yay! So I'll reapply the makeup to look more attractive to Lady Whatever while I'm walking. Like while I'm walking there, I'll kind of
Yeah, Molly Duvall.
like people who like drive and do their makeup. I've never done that, but I've seen people
I
do
believe
that.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need a mirror, but I don't know if she does.
Okay. So yeah, you carry on your way. And
This
man.
is exciting.
Okay,
Almost
Chew.
died.
Ava,
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little bit of a handhold on this one that I don't like to do as a GM, but I feel like it's relevant here and
I
important.
fully forgive.
Having just encountered a situation where not going stealthily led to a lot of trouble and 9 people did witness you do this, is Chew doing anything?
I mean, she does have her hood up, and I think she is like now that she's a little more wounded, she's probably going to try and take like paths that she thinks are less like conspicuous and try to blend in and make sure that like she's not being followed and make sure that the bound, like if she runs into the bound, that they aren't like after her, and to kind of like steer clear of commotions and the like. Yeah. Like she'll
Okay.
take the long way around basically if she needs to
Yes.
at this
I would
point.
like you to roll sneak. I will give you mastery because you did clear the area before you moved on, which means nobody had eyes on you as you began to move.
Oh my god.
Ava, I didn't even say what like domain, but you don't have low society, do you? Perch is just low
Oh, don't have
society.
low society or sneak.
That's a 2 and a 1 for people who don't see the dice.
At least it's not a double one.
A 2 and a
Yeah.
1.
Woof.
Woof.
It's cool. I know what I'm gonna do next, but
Oh my god.
Probably take a major fallout.
yeah, probably take a major fallout.
Go ahead and mark 2 stress to shadow.
Cool. I'm at 7 again.
Go ahead and roll fallout d10.
Get a 10. Get a 10.
That's an 8.
Oh my god, why are we here?
That's incredible. Okay.
Don't know whether to be like relieved or like still on edge because
I
it's gonna
wanna
get
die.
worse.
Oh, I'm
Yep.
definitely still on edge.
Yeah.
Ava, is
I mean,
there
if I
any way
talk to a
that
blood
Chu can
witch,
reduce stress?
I can literally find somebody beautiful and then murder them.
I'm like, okay, are you gonna do that?
That's what it says. It says refresh,
No, I
destroy
know,
something of
but
beauty.
like, it's just like the irony, the like hilarity to me of you being like, I can find someone beautiful and murder them, and my GM brain is like, great, is that your plan? Instead of being like, that's horrifying.
I mean, if I see somebody beautiful along the way and there's just like 1 or 2 people there and they're civilians, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and
Was
roll.
the guy that you killed beautiful?
He was the
Already got a refresh on that
biggest
boy.
eyelashes.
Go ahead, roll a d10, a luck die. There is no negative consequence to rolling low here. It's just to see how
Please.
like are you going to get what you need here.
Can someone else roll these dice?
An
Oh no,
8
it's
is
good.
An 8 is good. Okay.
Yeah.
You do come across yeah, a beautiful person. A person, oh my god, they come up to you and they're like, Chew, Queen of Excess?
And
I
I
was
stab their eyes out and eat them whole. No,
I was at your
I,
bloodbath. It was about blood ball. It was so cool. It was
oh
like
my god.
can I get your autograph? Like they're a fan.
Wow,
You know
you're really
what?
not making this easy for us, huh?
Like, why don't you come over here? And she was gonna like motion her to like an empty alleyway
Mhm.
and just be like, okay, I have like something like pretty cool I could tell you. Just come here. And I'll whisper it into their mind using truth.
Okay.
And I will bounce the D3 stress to mind onto them as well. So they take
Yep.
D3 and then D6 stress.
Go ahead and roll that D3 and that D6.
Oh, this poor person is gonna get murdered really
Yeah.
hard.
They are.
Okay, so they take 4 stress.
Yeah, that's enough to kill just an average teenage girl who's walking around talking to her idol on the street.
And it's all to mind as I whisper the nightmarish truth of Spire into their
Yeah, you
ears.
tell me, Ava, what does it look like as she dies from this?
She just starts quacking a lot and then crumples and falls over.
You heard it
So
here.
everyone reacts differently to the truth of Spire.
What can you
Okay.
say? Maybe, I mean, I'm sure Alvy would love to know that she
Yeah.
quacked as she reacted to the truth of the Spire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can take a D8 refresh on this, so please don't roll a 1.
Look, you're asking a lot of me. Okay. Oh, yes.
Rolled an 8 for people who can't see
Nice.
the dice. That is very good. So does that put you at 0 stress now?
Yeah, it does.
You know,
Wait, I'm 1 plus
How
2.
poetic is it that
That was
James
so
or
many
Brendan-
8s when we
Yeah.
needed them.
Ava just needed to do a little murder.
That's
As a
all you
treat.
need in life is a little murder as a treat. Okay.
Yeah, and this is your refresh for the Hungry Deep, right?
Yes, that is
Yeah.
I've almost only done the Hungry Deep.
Yeah, I think that as did you get that like rusted Hungry Deep token from Galena's? I can't remember if you did or not.
That doesn't sound
Um,
familiar.
I
Yeah.
didn't end up getting it because I didn't end up seeing it. It was only
Right.
Alvy that
Only
saw
Alvy
it.
saw it. Yeah, well, as this happens, you kind of the Hungry Deep, like your connection to it seems to be growing stronger. And you have this like as you kind of like murder this person, your own like flesh where you have taken wounds, the like kind of psychic damage that you've been enduring to like do these things, you feel it devoured away and it like feels like you imagine how the bugs devoured away like flesh, but to you it's like a nice little tingly sensation, like the little fishes that that nibble at your toes in those really fancy pedicures. That's kind of
Oh,
how
we
Chew
The
feels about
beholder
it.
fishes.
we ran into
We don't need to
shrimp
talk
that were
about that.
doing that to us while we were out clamming, and it was
Yeah,
horrible.
and that, but yeah, so that's how Chew. But it does heal you totally.
Yeah. Chu will bend down and take a trinket from the
Okay.
body,
Yeah,
like a murder,
like the murderer you are.
like a murder. Oh God, what is wrong with me?
We now
And then
have how many just serial killers rampant in this group, and
Chu will just move
Chew
on.
will just move
That's the
on.
life she's living.
Okay. My dog is excited about something. Sorry. All right. Yeah. You move on, and you do continue stealthily, and we've already rolled for it. You didn't do great, but you also didn't take fallout from it. So we'll say you get to where you're going, and you had heard of this kind of place where like people think that the blood witches were hiding out and things, and you find it's kind of like hidden kind of in this very tucked away under like spot where not much is happening. There's like a rope ladder that goes down, and there's no platforms underneath. There's just these kind of other ropes that are connected. It's like almost like one of those like adult jungle gyms where it's just like those cool like obstacle course things. It's like floating in the air, but there's not actually like a solid bridge matter of any kind. It's like all rope supported down here. So Chu can kind of like navigate her way across this, and there's kind of a building. Very dense smoke from the boundary fires here, and this building kind of in this underneath place that you're able to find.
Yeah. Can I brain really hard and think about what kind of emotions from what I know would be effective in persuading this person? Or is there just like not a lot that I know about?
Let's see. You do know some things about Molly Duvall. You know that um, she does not like Juasha, right? You know that she is at odds with Juasha. And I think that in the context that you got for kind of why that was the case, like you got the sense, we'll say, if this is a little bit of retroactive inserting of details, so be it. I'm the GM. I can do it if I want. You got the sense that there was like a feeling of like having been wronged, having not gotten the credit she deserved in some way from Juasha that caused this divide, and that it drove Molly not just from like a wedge between Molly and Juasha, but like fully from having like a presence in Perch and being kind of like a publicly known figure, even if like a bit reviled and on the edges of society, to wanting like nothing to do with society and stuff. Like just if so, I guess you can draw conclusions from that, right? That she has this strong sense of like self-righteousness, of like what she perceives as justice for herself. I wouldn't necessarily think that she has a sense of justice for others, but for herself, that when she feels wronged, she goes on the war path.
What would it take for like a blood witch to become as powerful as she?
Blood. And
Blood. A
and
lot of time. Molly is probably very old. That's a good question. Molly's probably pretty old. Access to certain kinds of resources that other blood witches may not have because they are bound to um, locations that are less, whereas Perch, you can at least get places and do things. A lot of places where blood witches typically operate are very, very marginal, to the point where like normal average people don't go there. And typically blood witches like that, but it also kind of hinders their rise to power because sometimes they don't have access to the things that they need. And Molly's willingness to work from Perch for many years kind of granted her additional power because of that.
so I think Chu is going to think really carefully about this decision, but she wants to. I mean, I can kind of tell that she's nearby-ish, right? Like this is her domain, I think, like her area.
You have reason to believe, yeah.
So I was wondering, do you think I could like hide in the smoke and like in the refuse and like sing like or like hum even for like an hour in a way that I think that it would carry enough to reach her while trying to instill the emotion of like revenge, like wanting like revenge, like righteous revenge. Or
I think you can do this. You're going to have to roll sneak first, and it's going to be at difficulty because why
this is like
wouldn't
her
someone
area.
come investigate hearing this mysterious song if they, right? So if you don't want to be discovered doing this for the hour, you will have to roll well on a sneak roll.
Oh, that's a big ass.
Because I don't think you don't have sneak, do you?
Well, but there's a lot of like smoke and stuff. Can that help eliminate the difficulty at least? Because there's like
I
a
will give
lot of
you
like
that you can take the occult domain.
I'm down. I'm doing it at difficulty, which is like -1 or 2.
We'll say it's -1.
I am a performer
I know you're a performer,
and I have a microphone and a stage. So,
Okay,
which
that's
would make
So-
you
making
more
so-
noticeable.
more.
well, but
Yep.
a microphone needs speakers. So I could put like
Mm-hmm.
speakers elsewhere and like misdirection, put lights elsewhere and stuff too.
Uh-huh.
Big brain. And I have a grenade just in case.
Just in case. This will be sneak at difficulty. Oh, we'll do difficulty 1. For the sake of all the smoke and things, I did specifically say it's very dense difficulty or very dense smoke.
Yes.
Molly
Okay,
would definitely come
everybody.
investigate though.
I need
So
everyone in chat
just a
to
reminder, difficulty means we -1 from whatever the highest of the dice.
Even if it's a 10.
Yes, you cannot roll a
everybody
critical success on difficulty.
Mm.
please pray for me. Here it goes. Hey, an 8, that's a success, right?
So
It's success
-1
with
is a
stress.
7. So you do take stress to remain hidden. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll that stress for you.
Can it be silver stress? I have to pay off a beggar. Get out of here, kid.
You're gonna take 3 to shadow.
Oh, okay. Ouch. I'm at 3 stress.
Go ahead and roll your D10, and on a 2 or lower, you would take fallout for this.
Boom.
That's a
A
6.
6. Okay, and I will instill like a feeling of like of kind of similar, I think, to what she described. I'm trying to bring out those maybe stagnant feelings of like revenge for a wrongdoing, like righteousness and kind of like feelings of betrayal. And I think at that, kind of once I feel like I've gotten to that hour, I will keep singing and then like step out and confront her.
Okay. Yeah. As you are doing this, partway through the hour, you see someone come out of the hut, and walk around on these ropes as if they were solid to walk on. She is not hindered by the very unstable ground, seems to be walking almost as if like very light touches on these ropes, as if like she could jump from one to the next. However, she looks kind of terrifying. She does not look nimble or graceful despite moving nimbly and gracefully across these ropes. She is kind of like a hulking figure. Lots of like her hair seems to be serving the purpose of shading her from the sun, although you're also in this deep smoke, and that contributes to this silhouette that is very alarming. And the hair is like, from what you can see of it, because she's moving through the smoke and you can't see well through it either. She can't see well enough to see you through it. You can barely see her except for this kind of silhouette moving. And the hair is kind of like it looks like it would be like crunchy or or like stiff to touch, and it like sticks out, and it like holds its form out away from her face in like huge like flats. And she
Nice.
you catch as she walks right past you as you are humming. You catch this kind of very pale skin for if she were drow, you would be surprised kind of pale skin underneath the little bit of her, that of skin that you can actually see from like her face coverings, her hair over her face. And you watch her do this, and she looks around for a while, and it's part of the reason it costs you that much stress, is that you have to constantly be trying to like throw your voice and misdirect her as you do this, until at the end of the hour you kind of like hoarse in the throat now, can like step out of the shadows, and she is still kind of like poking her way through areas to like now like reaching out with these kind of needle like claw fingers into areas to see if she can find whatever invisible singer is out here doing this in her space.
Yeah, and I will, as like the instill emotion hits, I will clear my throat and be like, Molly Duval, I believe
Okay.
I believe that you have been that you have a score to settle, and I have come with payment to buy a moment of your time and a proposition to get you the justice that you deserve. Would you hear me out for just a moment?
Yeah, go ahead and roll compel.
I
Um
have that.
and you can roll occult domain. I will grant you mastery, but this is at difficulty 1 because um she is hard to persuade.
Yeah.
Um and
So
it
it's
would
a
have been difficulty
7.
2, but you played all the things right to like actually be very persuasive. So a 7. So you do take stress for this. So we're gonna go ahead and roll that.
What is armor stress?
Like if you take like a blow from a weapon, your armor absorbs a certain amount of it before.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna go ahead and take one more to shadow,
Ouch.
and go ahead and
Okay.
roll your d10 on a 3 or lower. You will take fallout.
Uh, friggin' 8. Nice.
An 8. Okay. Yeah. She turns to you, and in a voice that is very mismatched to this kind of alarming figure, um, it like looks at you and says, "I'm listening."
Uh, First, and I like take out a vial and I set it down, and I'm like, the payment for your time, I wouldn't come here without it. Some rare blood for you. I know that you've been wronged. Second, I believe there's a name that holds meaning to you, and I say whatever the name is because I forgot.
Yeah, it's Juwasha, and I forgot her last name. Let's see, it's right here
Yeah,
somewhere.
Juwashalat.
Rhyme cracks beneath.
Yeah, I believe the name Juwasha rhyme cracks beneath holds special meaning to you.
She picks up the vial of blood as you're speaking, and like gives it like a really long, uncannily long. Like nobody should be able to inhale that long without having to stop to exhale, and it just keeps going. Kind of deep breath. And as you say, Juasha rhyme cracks beneath. The inhale keeps going, and she additionally speaks out loud and says, "That name does hold great significance to me." The
I'm
breath
getting
still in
Ghibli
going.
vibes from her.
Did you say
Like,
Ghibli?
yeah, like the grandma from Spirited Away.
Sure,
I'm getting
yeah.
like those
Picture
vibes.
that,
Like,
and then treat her just like a Ghibli character.
oh, I give her a big hug. No,
You don't.
uh, she will be like, well, it seems that Spire is once again wronging you and blaming you for these disappearances, but I can tell that there's more at work here and that you're clearly not to blame. However, this circumstance has provided us with an opportunity to perhaps strike at Juasha in order to further both of our causes effectively and perhaps seek the justice that you seek and prevent a calamity which would, well, cause a lot of others to perhaps be in a similar situation.
I'm sorry, I'm just kind of thinking through.
Yeah. Would you be willing to go up Spire with me and, like, I don't know, murder? I don't know.
Yeah, you see you see she finally stops smelling the blood, stoppers it, puts it in her pocket. And she turns around, she gestures toward her little hut thing, and says, "Why don't you come inside and we'll talk about this?"
Oh my gosh, yes, I'm so excited. And then she will, like, immediately, like, kill the excitement and be like, yes, that's a good
Okay.
idea.
Yeah, and you go inside and you see in here Molly has decorated this place with just like would be like finery. Like it's so close to being like luxurious, but everything is just degrees off, right? That uncanny valley of luxury of like it's like these beautiful curtains that are also like moth-eaten in the weirdest ways with like some smoke like um fire damage, and like that whole the whole thing is like that. There's like a beautiful ornate mirror with like a golden outside, and Chu is like drawn to this beautiful. I mean, it's mirrors
Yeah.
are not that common in this, right? It's hard to make really reflective glass. And as you're kind of drawn to it and like look at it, you see that like from one angle you couldn't see it at all, but from another angle there's cracks running through the glass in such a way where like you can't get a good look at yourself. And as you kind of turn to like and do the thing, like they come and they go, right? The whole place is full of this just very uncanny,
I
semi
think Chu
beautiful.
loves
Yeah, I think Chu loves it. I think it is like Chu would love it if it were like a little higher budget, right? Just a
Yeah,
little
like just
higher
a little,
budget.
but she's
Just
like the aesthetic is like
yes,
so
so
there.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
She's like
you
taking notes in her head.
yeah, you kind of get the feeling from the way Molly moves through the space that these things have been hers for a long time. But as you see her kind of like glance at different elements of it and kind of make these like, because she's in this headspace of like righteous anger that you've put her in, she like gets this kind of like angry, frustrated, like, like feeling from her own things, in such a way where like you think maybe she would like it to be higher budget too. Like this is like a downgrade from what she deserves.
Yeah.
And it's only because, you really like put her in the headspace of like what I deserve and what is rightfully mine that you even get that read from her because yeah, she's not. And so she has you sit down and she goes to the kitchen or what serves as a kitchen. She brings some tea, and she slides some tea to you. And she looks around a little bit and she says, "And what should I call you?"
You can call me Chu, the Queen of Excess. And may I just say, uh, clearly your tastes are impeccable, although I can't help but feel that these things do not quite live up to your standards.
Well, I think that our mutual acquaintance Joasha might be someone to blame for that. And she looks down into her tea, like swirls it a little, and like spends again just like a weird amount of time like eyeballing it as if she's seeing something in it that you are not seeing in your tea before she takes a sip. And she taps these like needle like claw kind of fingers. It's not fingernails, it is fingers that are needle like. And she kind of like taps them on the glass or on the teacup, and she makes eye contact with you really directly for the first time. And you see that she has not two eyes, but three. There's a third
Aw.
one, very small, just right off the side of her eye. And the pupil of that one is split multiple times, and the entire thing of it is red, like from
She
side.
was gonna like blush a little. And she's gonna
Amazing.
like hide in her teacup and like take a drink of the tea.
Yeah, and And Juasha, like with this like very direct eye contact on you, says, "Now, it's interesting you mention justice, and it's not. I hope you understand this, being a drow yourself, that it's not justice for the drow that I'm seeking, nor do I particularly care what Juasha might do or not do that might hurt denizens. But if revenge is what you're after, or can promise me whatever you're after, I don't care. But if revenge is what you can promise me, then I'm listening."
I have a feeling that we are both cut from a similar cloth, and I am not at all bothered by the idea that we are after our own after our own ends, as long as the mean is, something, that phrase. I have an opportunity. My friends and I are headed up Spire right now to deal with Juasha, and I would welcome your assistance, your guidance, your company, your strength in achieving something that would be satisfactory for all of us, whether that means stealing her into what is it called, the like in between of Spire, the
Like,
thing that Sam can open
Vermissian?
port, yeah, the Vermissian, yeah.
yeah, and the
um
heart, right? You would know is kind of like the very dense underpinning of the Vermissian.
yeah, whether that means stealing Joshua away into the Vermissian or finding some other way to get the revenge that you need. Again, I think I'm in the same boat as you. I don't really care about the means or who benefits. I care more about the ends here. I have a goal and you have a goal. We both have desires. And I just think that I have a team of people working towards a very similar goal. So if I can strengthen my odds of success and grant you something that you want along the way, then perhaps this can be mutually beneficial.
And you, there
Puppy.
she is.
Aw,
It's the
hi,
girl.
Rika, little princess. Oh, so
A
cute,
good
little
dog.
baby.
He's a good dog. Okay. Yeah, she sets her teacup down, and what are you doing? Go away.
She wants love. Give her love.
She doesn't want
Put the
love.
headset on her. Let her speak.
Just
Yeah,
let her
put the headset
speak.
on her.
Trust me, if she was talking, you'd hear. She has big lungs. She says, and your friends that you're working with, you know where Juasha is. You have a plan or a route to get to her. Anything like that?
At this point, she was going to use her big brain and think of if they have that and they know. Because Ava, look at me. But
Beautiful, smart,
Chu,
wonderful.
yeah, half of those. But Chu knows. Okay. But Chu knows also these things and hasn't had weeks in between them. So
Yes, you know that Anders as Dracul is on his way with Alvi to try to secure a meeting, and seemed extremely confident that this would be possible. You do not know when that meeting is going to happen, except that Anders did say, or I should say Dracul did say, that it would not be like today, it would be soon.
yeah, and I did know that it's like on. Oh my god, my chat filter's on. I was so confused. I was like, why can't I see these juicy words? Uh, sorry. Yes. Yep. I will kind of, I think, relay the situation towards her and like explain like, yeah, this is kind of where we're at, and what's going on, and that it's like a quickly unfolding situation, and you have like an opportunity now to get in on this, and um, I think I'd have to go meet with people, but I can like if you want to come up Spire, like we can keep you linked in, and this will LinkedIn, huh? And this
No.
my work is like it's eating me. No, and this will be like an opportunity for you. Like it's not it's quickly unfolding is what I'll say. And here's like what's happening so far.
Okay. Yeah,
And we
she
know that she's up Spire. Like we know that she's in New Haven, right? New Haven?
you don't know that she's in New Heaven.
I,
Nobody knows where she is for sure right now among you all. Your best guess, many Elfir live in Amaranth, some live in other kind of upper areas of like the Ivory Quarter and things. Or Ivory Row,
Ivory
Silver Quarter, Ivory Row.
Silver Quarter, Ivory.
Yeah, but so you know, like most
I
likely
thought
she's somewhere
Tyler was
there.
headed up to New Heaven.
Nope. Dracul and Alvi are in the Silver Quarter, talking to Eo, and
Nice.
Din and Edic are in New Heaven investigating what was going on up there with demonic activity.
Yeah, I think I'll kind of give her like a brief summary of
Yeah.
everything and then explain like, okay, here are like the parts that are at play right now, and here's how I think it'll play out in the next
Okay.
whatever. And it's like, as far as her involvement, I want to leave it up to her and just say like, you obviously have your own stake in this and your own abilities, which I can't even probably begin to know the full extent of. But my goal here was to make you aware of the situation so that you could take part in it however it pleases you.
Okay. Yeah, and she kind of nods and she like gestures like very like her hand is part of like that very like creepy, it doesn't seem like bones seem to she has too many or not enough in her fingers, and like it all doesn't quite, it's not like they're broken, it's like they don't fit together properly inside her skin. And she kind of gestures with these needle like fingers that just very weird. And as she does, like three cats walk in, and these are
Oh, she's gonna lose her mind and be like,
they
little
are not
baby.
they are not beautiful cats. They are mangy, patchy fur. Two of them are missing an eyeball each. One of them is like missing both eyeballs but has a third eye.
Are
So
they like
has neither of
walkie-talkie cats?
um walkie-talkie cats.
She's like, here, communicate with me using these cats.
We have goats with hands and walkie-talkie cats.
Hello, we found her. Come find us.
The thing that I hate about this is that they are her familiars, and she is going to take one of them. She takes the one that's missing its left eye. It's kind of a like black and gray, like stripes. Very patchy, matted fur, missing its left eye. One of its ears is like, has something like it was bit out of it. So it's like not a full ear anymore. And she puts it in your lap, and
I
she
pet it.
great. And she says this. Oh my God, a cat name. I knew I was gonna
Oh,
put a
can we
cat.
name it Maya? No, it's gonna die. Don't
Can't be
do that.
Maya.
Let's call it Jackie.
Into the butt was modded.
Into the
that
butt.
phrase.
Okay, so it's
Oh my God.
specifically into the butt. Nice.
So
Sorry. I said talk into the butt for the best
yes,
reception.
I see this.
And then
Yeah. So the
we
cat's
call
name
it
is
Jackie after my parents'
Butter.
hellish cat.
You
It's a
can't-
mean cat. It's a feral cat. It's attacked me.
Listen, Jackie is not that mean.
She's horrible. Apparently, she like maimed my mom.
No. Okay.
Yeah, like
I
apparently it's really
believe you,
bad.
but let's not get sidetracked talking about your parents' cat.
Sorry.
Well, oh gosh, why is it so hard to come up with
Is Dax?
names?
Is that the name
Cornflake.
of the Daxi and Finner?
I love the idea of cornflake, but it's got to be something like, a little
Snap,
like.
crackle, and pop.
No, I was gonna say, like what's the like corpse blood or like corpse
Corpse flower.
flour or something like that like people eat sometimes in Spire. It's got to be like related to that. We'll call it, yeah. Man.
Scrambles the Destroyer.
Scrambles the Destroyer.
Aww.
Name it
Piss.
Piss, Rachel says.
Yes! All of these grungy cat names. I love it.
Honestly, I feel like Piss is a good contender.
Piss
All
is
right.
a strong.
We're
Piss
not
is in the
spending
lead.
any more time on this, so Rachel wins. The name is Piss.
Can we have like
Piss
a helpful
Destroyer. There you
goats
go.
vote for the next like cat, like the other two
Oh,
cat names?
sure. She says, "This is Piss, Piss the Destroyer." I feel like you and Piss will get along well. But you
Do not.
can you can keep Piss with you, and I see much that my cats see. So if there comes a time where you need me urgently, just make sure Piss knows, and we'll be able to get in touch.
Does
Talking to
Piss
the butt.
Talking to
Piss
the butt.
eat anything? Do I need to feed Piss?
Oh, Piss will hunt on her own.
Oh, okay. My partner is giving me a really weird look. It just hears, do I need to feed Piss?
Yeah.
Okay. Chu will not want to overstay her welcome and will say, well, thank you. Honestly, gotta say, big fan. Should come by a concert sometime. Probably not the next one, but hey, you know.
I'll comp you free tickets for
Yeah.
Blood Witch. That'll go.
I mean, I murder a lot of people during my concert.
Oh,
So, I
nice.
mean, yeah, it's fun. It's a good time. You should drop by sometime. All right. I gotta go, obviously. You're busy. Thank you for the piss cat. uh, she kind of like picks it up and is like, thank you. And like puts it over her shoulder
I feel
and
like
is
I should
like,
make you roll resist on whether or not this cat is gonna like fuck with you. Okay, I promise I won't make you take stress, but roll
I'll do
resist and
it.
let's see what happens.
I'll do it. A
A
5.
5, that's a failure. So yeah,
Yeah.
the cat
Like
absolutely
meowing
when you pick it
unhappily.
up, it's like just it's so mad. And
She
you put
immediately
it,
just puts it back down.
yeah, put it,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you for piss. The destroyer. Do I need to worry? Will they just like follow me around?
Oh, she'll just follow you. It's fine.
Okay. Thanks. Can I take anything like a souvenir? I mean, I'm a big fan. No big deal. I don't want to stress this relationship, if I'm being honest.
Stress it. Um, Speaking of the relationship, you should jot down that you have a temporary bond with Molly Duvall.
Yes.
And can you
Do you have
take?
anything that will cure addiction?
Oh my God, yes, Matt.
I feel like it's
Hemorrhoids
got to
for
be
cats?
piss and vinegar, right? Like the other one's name is vinegar.
Well, there's 3. Can the third one be hemorrhoids?
Piss, vinegar, and hemorrhoids. Why?
The 3
That
genders.
sounds like a
No
bad
vote needed. We've already
The 3
determined it.
genders. It's done. We found them. Sam, go ahead and roll me that D10 luck die.
Hey, Sam, can you roll really good here? Really solid 10 out of 10 rolls, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
An 8.
You're my favorite now.
Okay, yeah, Molly will kind of like she doesn't laugh at you. She's not that kind of person. But she does
Your
see you
cat
kind of
laughs at
like,
me
yeah,
instead.
you're like, "Can I have a souvenir? Haha, I gotta go." And she's like, and she let's see. She will reach over near that ornate golden mirror. There's a little bowl. It's a very beautifully like delicately painted like pottery bowl, but it was glazed and all these things in like in a very high end crafty way. And inside the bowl are is like a little pile of like pearls and things. And she'll pick out a pearl. It's a gray pearl, and it's kind of big for a pearl. And in fact, you probably don't see pearls almost ever. I don't know if she would even know what a pearl is. In Spire, there like down at the like base of Spire, there are docks and like rivers, but like ocean creatures where like clams could be growing or whatever. What oysters? What grows pearls?
Oysters.
Oysters. Not a thing. And Molly rolls it between her fingers and presses it into your hand. It says, "Your souvenir. This was something that grew inside a living creature once, and well, I wouldn't swallow it yourself, but it once grew inside a living creature, and it could do so again." And
Oh,
presses that into
that's
your hand.
awesome. Yes. Cool. And can I roll insight? Like
No, it's not D&D.
pearl that grows inside of people who swallow it.
That is what you have from Molly. Yes, that
And
is
I'm also gonna put Piss the Destroyer in my
Piss the
inventory.
Destroyer.
Mhm.
Okay, and I presume Chew leaves. Molly's
She
at this
leaves
point.
stealthily
Stealthily, good.
and stealthily makes her way
Yes.
to wherever she's supposed to go.
Perfect.
And maybe gets like a burger on the way because she's had a long day.
Absolutely. Great. Well, A plus to Chew, the Queen of Excess, for not doing a great job getting there, but once you got there, just killing it with that interaction with Molly. Um, so let's go ahead and take our break now. We'll be right back by 8 o'clock / 10 o'clock, depending on your time zone. There are no other time zones, just Mountain and Eastern. But yes, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. We'll be right back in 10 minutes to wrap up with Sam and Sarah as Edic and Din up on the very top of Spire. See you then, friends.
I genuinely
Bye.
want a cat named Piss the Destroyer now.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Oh my. Hello, everybody. I got lost on the floor.
We lost Ava to the floor.
I'm comfortable here. I'll find
She fell
reaction
off
pictures.
Spire.
She did what she promised, which was she made it through her part.
Yeah.
Yep. So as well as this part of Spire being sponsored by vacant chairs and faceless profiles, we're also sponsored by Siggy's, the best yogurt on the face of the earth. It comes from
Icelandic
Iceland.
skur.
Yes.
Icelandic skur, baby.
It's
It
very
is the
tasty.
best.
Very good. Very thick. Thick and creamy. Let's just keep
Yeah.
moving past
This is my
that.
face when I don't have my Ziggies.
Okay. All right. So Eddic
Oh, cat.
and Din, you do get the effects of the tea ceremony, so that is in effect. And you both come back from your kind of ancestral rite vision. The vision
Sort
that came
of.
to you, yeah, kind of as a side effect in this case of the ancestral rite. And I think Eddic does not remember the vision. That was part of the memory holes and part of the effect of not choosing or choosing to say no, you don't particularly see the value in committing yourself further to Lombre at this point. And Din comes back fresh from a vision, and you are still hidden in the alley with the synchronized bird flying happening nearby to distract the hired guards. But remember that you are on a bit of a time crunch to this as well, because when the guards stop investigating the birds, they're going to come back this way. This is their route back. So go ahead.
Okay, so when we break out of the ceremony and like our respective vision trances, I grab Eddic by the lapels, basically. And I'm like, Eddic, we have 5 days. We have 5 days. It's gonna fall. The spire is gonna fall in 5 days. We don't have time.
Uh, 5 days before,
I just like shake you a little bit, like, yes.
okay. 5 days is not no time, but it is not a lot. Okay, why don't we
Just to clarify also, the perspective from Eddic would have been, here, Din, have your tea. Blink a little bit, come back to your senses, and Din's going, we have 5 days. So like this also would be a rather abrupt pronouncement.
yeah.
Because you don't remember your vision. So
I have
No.
over the question table. If we are part, like Sarah and I are part of the Hungry Deep, would we, an under the table question, sorry, part of the Hungry Deep, would we be like inclined to just allow the demonic incursion? Because we're like, I mean, we don't like Spire, right? Like we want it to explode and die and decay.
yeah, so I mean, you are also part of the ministry, and have a certain amount of commitment to the idea of like protecting the drow. It's not to say, I think Chu obviously has more complex motivation. But if Chu thinks like, hey, just let the spire fall, that might be Chu's prerogative to feel as a character, but I don't think that it's necessarily I don't think the Hungry Deep is necessarily the kind of deity that's like full scale destruction, because like decay and decline of things and like the corruption of beautiful things into their like corroded, decayed state doesn't necessarily, it's not the same as, and in fact I think we did establish this in Sarah's
Right.
part last time, is that this is actually demonic destruction is opposite to the kind of like destruction that the Hungry Deep prefers, because it is abrupt and it doesn't have that kind of like corrosion element. It just goes from like normal shit to like shit's fucked, with none of that like good decay in between, which is really what the Hungry Deep is all about.
Okay, that answers a lot of questions. Thank you.
Okay. So to not necessarily backtrack, but I did. Who told you 5 days? This is new information to me.
Okay, so now I have a question. Do either of us remember having the vision,
You
or
do.
only I do?
Yes. You have no
Okay.
idea what Eddic experienced. Eddic, for
Okay.
Sam's knowledge, does not remember having the vision, but
I
Din
just made
has,
the tea and don't even remember drinking it. Really.
right, is just kind of like zoned out,
Okay.
like, had a little daydream as he drank his tea.
Okay.
Versus Din, who clearly remembers her vision.
Okay. Did you not see when we drank? I saw Spire falling. I came back and you had drank, and did you not see it?
No, I make the tea. I give you some. I drink the tea, and it is drunk, and nothing else happens.
Okay, so then I would like just basically explain what I saw
Yeah.
and then be like hustling to get to investigate what we were attempting, right? So just like explaining to him, obviously you're going to respond in some way, but I am also trying to move in the direction because I feel this urgency.
I wonder if your vision was in some way as we're like walking. I'm gonna be like just postulating about. I
Mm-hmm.
I, I wonder if it was in some way linked to your ancestral drow past, that it unlocked something in your head. But how could that be a vision of the future, not of the ancient past? Are you sure it was not of the past?
It doesn't matter. I know. I saw it clear as day. It's happening. It's 5 days. It feels right. It feels like just like this. It's all vaguely familiar.
Well, there's not much sense in questioning that when all I have to do is look at the evidence around, and feels like it may not be too far off the mark. And how close have we like breached the inside of what
Yeah.
was the old labs
Um,
building?
yes, you've come up to remember, this is not identically the same lab that you've been in before, but it is the
Okay.
same set of buildings. Like that lab that you were in before is not too far from here. And as you kind of come into this building, this like melted weird building, the doorway, like the wood seemed to have not been affected. And Edic doesn't think that this is like because wood is somehow impervious to demonic things. That's not what's happening here. The wood just didn't get affected, but the building around it like flowed like wax, and so the wood crumpled under it, and the door is like weirdly like these weird planks of wood and pieces of wood that are all just like all at these odd angles, like sticking out of, as if it like put a lot of pressure on it, splintered the door, fragmented where it was, and then froze again. And so like there is absolutely a passage through, but it is weird and hard to get through. Like you kind of have to like duck and shimmy through, but you can get into the building.
I'm gonna try to reach out to Byron. I assume now that Lombre is no longer interfering, that I'll have the connection.
Yes.
Um, so are you getting this? Does this seem like the work of one of your associates?
Well, if I mean, it's all kind of fuzzy from the way that I perceive through this, but it I mean, you said it was demonic in nature, right? I think this has got to be. It's got to be. I don't know who. I mean, I can't tell that from here. I don't know if I could tell it even if I was there.
Mm.
Can I tell that he's talking to a demon?
You've seen Edic talk to Byron before, I think, right?
Okay.
a little here and there. And I think it has been established that it's an out loud, your side of it is an out loud conversation,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So you would hear him also talking.
Mm.
Um, and as like, does it seem like there is from the destruction around us? Does it look like there is a particular place where like a nexus point, or is it just kind of the whole building is blah blah blah, and
Yeah, great question. You can roll investigate. It would be occult, investigate, and assuming Din will be helping you, you can take a mastery die on this. Unless Sarah, you think Din wouldn't help.
Oh no, no, I would be like looking around and definitely investigating.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do all 4d10. Here we go. Oh my god, okay. I saw the 1 and now I'm seeing the 10.
Yes. So the highest you rolled is a critical success, which is excellent. Yeah, so you and Din together start to poke around, and like Attic, your idea of like, is there a nexus point, really resonates with Din and with how you're thinking about going through the investigation and organizing, like what are you looking for here. And as you kind of proceed through this building, looking for, you know, basically like what could have caused this. You well, I'm reading something, hang on. You find a number of things. One, you find a significant number of dead drow here. They are melted into the building in such a way that like they were clearly caught up in. It's unclear how they died, but you could probably make a pretty good guess that like it was a combination of some sort of energy force blasting into them, because some of them are a bit dismembered and shredded. It's unpleasant. And also like the structure around them being unstable, that collapsed around and on top of them, or they sunk into, a little column A, a little column B, that kind of thing.
Are we concerned right now about the rest of the building collapsing onto us?
No, it
Okay.
has fully frozen back into into inert non-waxy substance, and additionally is not what would be the word? It seems, I mean, it's been this way for days now, several days.
Okay.
I think in Din's vision, we established it was like 5 days since this incursion, and 5 days until the next, or at least based on the current timeline, according to Lombre. And so the in here, the carrion birds haven't come and eaten the flesh away the way that they did out in the streets of the people who died because of the same reasons. And it does not smell lovely. This is like, you would have found this no matter what. But what this gives you is two things. One, it gives you, the closer you get to kind of a center point, the more shredded the bodies are. So you can kind of use that as a way to navigate it. Two, would either, oh, this is gonna be sad, Edic or Din know Dan of Ken, Dan, and Itchy Jim?
I did because I directed No!
This is terrible.
No!
Oh no, I
Yeah.
just caught on to that.
You
Wait,
find,
Sam's realization. That was kind
I'm sorry, Rachel, I did kill Dan, who was your character. Um,
That makes me
Dan,
sad.
yeah, Sam, you like being like, yeah, I knew Dan. Oh fuck, I knew Dan. Um, so here's the thing. You find Dan. It takes you a minute to realize that you found Dan, but you can piece some things together. And this is kind of the benefit of the critical success, is that you piece together the missing people you kind of take some time to like, having noticed that Dan, to look around and see the people a little closer now. These are people from Perch. You recognize the way that they are dressed. You recognize the way that they all have friendship over with Elise. I'm so sorry, Rachel. You're not even here to like be appalled at me on camera. You recognize like god ropes, things like that. You also find uh, most of the bodies that are intact enough to have this have Drek on them somewhere. There is what Eddic and Din are deducing here is that there is a clear connection between people who are very addicted to Drek, people getting snatched off the streets of, like, are the people who are getting snatched off the streets of Perch, and they have been taken here to be fodder for something demonic. So that would be one thing you piece together. Then, my God. Yeah, you don't know what's going on with Halim, do you, Rachel? No one's checked in on Halim, have they? And yeah, so as you kind of put this kind of, shock behind you and continue your investigation, knowing your time is limited, you do also come to kind of a nexus point or a center point of where this happened. And what you find there is a lot of shreds of things that Eddic would have no problem putting together could have once been lesser Eidolons. The kind of Eidolons the other lab that you investigated were churning out fast because they just wanted to make things that could store demonic power enough. And now there are enough of them here that there is... Yeah, there's a lot of them here, and all kind of centered around this nexus point. Shredded, useless at this point. None of them are worth anything. But would clearly, I think, to Eddic, who has practice with Eidolons, read as material of Eidolons.
What kinds of material is it exactly?
It depends. It's a lot of different stuff. There's lots of like stuff that survived the blast, right? A lot of like metal things. A lot of kind of unusually shaped geometric things. A lot of... there's some broken chains here and there. There's a few things that look like they might have been like some kind of delicate ceramic, or like some kind of figurine that like you can kind of piece together, like might have once been some sort of like almost like little figurine or statue. So different types, but a lot of the ones that really strike you as being connected to that other lab you once found have like a very similar look to them, in that they are all just kind of like this mass produced... they were just trying to churn out stuff that could have channeled demonic energy.
So this would be an investigate role, I imagine. But what I'm thinking of is like knowing the nature of the trinkets that were in the lab, plus these trinkets that are, in tatters before me, plus the wreckage around. I want to know if I can kind of put any sort of dots together as to like what is the demon that could have been responsible for this particular kind of mayhem, because a lot of times, demons have very particular tastes in the things that they will inhabit. They won't just go into anything. That's, part of their whole shtick.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll. You get your mastery, because this is... oh wait, is it mastery on investigate when it's related to occult things, or is it...
So I have my knack is occult magic when dealing with demons.
It should be associated with a specific skill, though.
My if you're talking about my daily knack, it's resist for magical
No,
side
but any
effects.
knack is associated with a specific skill.
I guess this is just when casting spells, maybe. I just wrote occult magic stealing with demons.
Okay.
Maybe like a cult somehow.
Yeah, it could be occult, the domain, which you would have. So yeah, you can take it. And yeah, okay. So you're rolling with your mastery on occult, investigate. And Din, what are you up to as Eddic is kind of trying to piece this together?
I mean, I was also just trying to piece it together myself. Which like as Sarah, I am imagining based on the information that we have, like someone was trying to summon something very big, and I know those aren't like the right words and stuff, but and it worked. But like where is it now? And so I guess I would want to try to look around specifically for any sign of like obviously there was this like big demonic incursion. And so we have like kind of the ingress point, but I guess what I'm looking for is like a point of egress. Like how did it leave? Where did it go?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll investigate and occult. And then Sam, your highest was an 8 on your
Yeah, I
investigation.
was gonna ask if y'all think I should re-roll this because I feel like, it's 4. I get one use of this everything re-roll without consequence. I can do it again later. If I don't like this result, if I want to re-roll it.
I mean, it's ultimately it's up to you. It's 4. You have a full success with you already. So if you're just trying to get the critical, is that the reroll for crit?
Yeah, I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit today.
Okay.
Also, I don't have any of those domains, so when I roll, it will just be 1.
Bitchin'!
Okay.
Nice.
And
Um,
also, I would like to help Din if I have that
I
opportunity.
think these things are happening at the same time. Maybe you did roll first to get that critical 10. I can say you can use the effect of the critical 10 to add a mastery die to Din's pool, or you can take the 10 for. Yes, Rachel, he did actually get it. You can take the 10 for like a different narrative benefit. You get to choose here.
I think I
I feel like
gotta
you should
take.
take it.
I
Yeah.
gotta take my crit. Yeah,
And Sarah,
because this is a big question. Oh shit! I'm sorry, Sarah.
No problem. I mean,
uh,
I don't have any of these domains, and like I'm like petrified of demons, so
you
it
don't
makes
have
sense that
investigate the
no.
skill. Oh, okay. Yeah. Then you're just rolling 1
Mm-hmm.
d10.
Yeah, I got a 3.
And that's a 3. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's resolve Sam's first, and then we'll resolve Sarah's. Okay. So, Sam, you want to know specifically what type of demon or what demon would be pleased with whatever was kind of being offered here. Is that was kind of
Yeah,
the okay.
yeah. Who was trying to be besieged or was effectively besieged, and this is the result.
hmm Okay, well, the first thing you would know, and perhaps one of the reasons that Din failed, is that you know that incursions are what result when a beseeching fails. When
Mm.
something goes wrong with a demonic summoning, you get an incursion. The melting of this building was not the intended thing. Yes.
I have one quick question. I can literally cause incursions to happen
Yeah, so it can
with
be
an
like
idol.
it's like a boom, like a bomb kind of thing. Eidolons can also just be unstable or go wrong when you're trying to do other things, and the failure of the Eidolon causes these whack ass effects. So
Yeah.
it's a both and. I should yes, but I agree with you. It is you can choose to unleash an incursion in order to make like a bomb effect, or this kind of thing can
So
occur
would
on
I
accident.
assume then that this was an accidental?
Yes, you
Okay.
you besides just the point of like what possible benefit could there be to like putting a huge beacon on your demonic activities in New Heaven, right? Um there's no really good reason to just be like, let's just melt a building, right? Um but additionally, because that's really like that's what an intentional incursion is, like a bomb effect. You don't get very much else from that, right? And so if this was intentional, the goal would have been to more or less melt this building and kill these people. They were captives already. Like, you're kind of putting together like that doesn't make sense. So now you switch your way of thinking to like, what could they have been trying to do that could have ended with this result, and what kind of demon could have done this? And with that switch in your thinking, you know that none of the materials here, this wasted material, is good enough to create an Eidolon that would attract a very powerful demon. They don't need big Eidolons necessarily, but they do need high quality, very specifically tuned Eidolons. And these are mass produced things that absolutely are not unique or interesting enough to please a demon of that caliber. And as you kind of think about that, you also think about stories that you've traded with Byron, and that he's kind of told you about ways that some types of demons consume and steal the power of other lesser demons. And you think what has happened here is intentionally there was feeding of something bigger going on here, through junk eidolons that were eidolons that were just mass produced and thrown at this thing for the feeding of demonic power into it, and also possibly these drow who were drugged and kidnapped, kept here to be kind of live, fresh meat for whatever was being fed. And with that in mind, you're thinking that probably some kind of demon, wherever the eidolon that houses that demon is, it is no longer here. So if it survived the blast or whatever kind of happened, somebody has already come in and taken that. And you don't know where it has been relocated, but you know that something was being fed. And then Sarah, Din rolled a 3 on her investigation.
Mhm.
So we're going to go ahead and roll some stress for you.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 6 on a d6.
Mm.
Ouch. Fuck. These are the things as a GM, you're like, I'll roll it on a d6. And then you're like, man, a d6 is a lot of stress.
Die. I'm just kidding. That's what Piss the Destroyer's for.
Okay. Din, this is going to split. Where did my pencil go? Between blood and mind. The blood stress, if you have armor, it can go to your armor. So we're going to put, okay, we're going to put 3 on blood and 3 on mind. So where does that bring your total?
Uh, 10.
You just took all of it? You don't have any resistances on any of that?
I had 1 resistance on mine, but it was already used.
Okay.
Is
10.
total stress at 10?
Yes. You have to roll a 10 on this d10 to not take major fallout.
Okay.
God, I wish I had a fucking Danksy charm right now.
All right, I'm summoning
I
all of my
regret
power.
nothing.
I also just like the idea. So before we even roll, to build some anticipation and stuff, I also just like the idea that like Din is just so driven by like the fear, but also the like I have to figure this out. And now she's like where this horrible thing happened and is just like looking around frantically trying to like find a solution, like find out what's going to happen, because she knows now that there's only 5 days to live basically unless we figure out what's going on. But she's also fucking crazy with fear, and so she's like, what do I? And then nope.
That's a 3. Okay, yeah. You do take severe fallout. All right.
Oh shit.
So step 1 is you can go ahead and erase a lot of stress. Let's see. You can remove 7 stress now.
Okay.
And I think we're gonna put this to mind. And
If you live through this but are brain dead, I have a pearl that I can plant
Oh.
inside of you. I don't know what it'll do, but
What? Okay. You are going to take the obsessed fallout.
Okay.
No, I think that the phobia was kind of like redirected into something already by Lombre. So I'm going to change that. You're going to take the renegade fallout. Here's what it says. Your mind is shattered by the stress of your actions. You turn against the ministry and all it stands for. We're not quite going to put that flavor on it, but I'll get to that. This is not immediate. The fallout represents the first crack in the damage of your mind. Over the next few sessions, play out your descent. Should you survive, you join a rival faction or become one unto yourself and set against the cell. I think what happens here is as Din is kind of doing this. So the blood stress comes from you're poking around trying to find this point of egress. You're seeing all these dead drow. You are increasingly like seeing the realness of what happens when demonic incursions occur. And you take the blood stress as you're kind of like frantically looking for this, and you're starting to feel that same like obsessive compulsive movement towards like you have to know, you have to stop this. As you're like scrambling around trying to find it, you're tripping on things, you're just banging yourself up looking for stuff. And additionally, like as this happens, Din doesn't quite go bye-bye yet. Like not quite. I think that your turning against is not a full turning against the ministry, but a realization that like this cell, this that you're working with, they're not working hard enough or fast enough to do this. And you think of like Edic, they're working with someone who works with demons. They used to work with Rauka, who was straight up a ministry person who had a demon inside of him, right? And you're thinking about that and you're just like, it's not that you don't see the value of like Edic could be a powerful tool in the fight, but that like people like you're supposed to trust him and Rauka and like Alvi who loved Rauka and like you're starting to like it's that crack in the dam, right? Of like realizing this is not this group, this cell and the ministry who sanctions them, they can't get it done. And this is this is severe mind fallout. This is not like an actual thing, right? This is not Din like realizing, aha, I've had a clear realization. This is Din the first of like this kind of step down this descent. And over the course of the next few sessions, Din is essentially going to have to like play that out. And I would, you and I can talk a little bit about like what you think that would look like. But I think that's where Din is headed. Okay.
I don't know,
That
but
sounds about right.
I feel like, my ancestral ability should be like flaring up right now because I'm feeling a little bit ambushed by this right now.
Oh, I had to roll a 6 on a d6 and put Din at 10 stress. I'm sorry.
When all Din was doing was looking at dead bodies.
All Din was doing was poking around. I mean,
it is like like it makes sense. It really does.
It does. It really does. It's just so terribly
We've just
unfortunate
been building
and
this
reminiscent of what happened to Ulrich.
Okay, and so You do not find a point of egress. You don't think the demon is here, but you find plenty of other ways in and out of the building, and as many are completely ruined as like all of that you find are completely ruined the same way that the door that you came through is ruined. So anything that might have happened here, you can't really track that necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do I see Din? Has Din like
Yeah. Well, yes, I think the inside of this building is like largely open floor. Things that would have obstructed your vision got blasted in the incursion. And so you kind of look around and you see Din. She's cut up, like her like has gashes that are bleeding that she doesn't seem to really notice or care much about. And just is kind of like standing in the corner, like under, you just see a mask. But she's just kind of standing over there, like near one of the doors. It's kind of still right now.
do I hear anything? Is it all just like silent?
You hear
Do
the
I hear the
birds.
crows?
You hear the crows. I mean, that's a lot of them. They're making a lot of noise. And outside you hear, the kind of typical like occasional like shout. The doors and the windows being kind of open um do lend you to hearing like the occasional like snippet of talk coming through. It's mostly the guards talking to each other as they pass like windows and doors and things, like just normal. They don't seem like they're about to like burst in here or anything. It's pretty quiet, and additionally the street outside was pretty empty because nobody wants to be near this, and so you don't hear anything beyond that.
So I think like at this point, Edic is just like gonna be talking at Din and not so much to Din, just kind of like describing everything he's thinking about how like, you know, clearly, this was like kind of like a sacrifice, an offering for some other greater eidolon that was housing a very powerful demon. Um, I could not hazard a guess yet as to who this would be because it seems as though whatever they were hoping for failed. Um, uh, and I had a thought and now it's gone again. Dang it. I think right now, Edic is like the thing that whether or not he's realizing this, I think what he's being desirous of is like, okay, clearly whoever is trying to do this thing is wielding more power than they can control. So, not that Edic thinks that he has the capabilities, but whoever does have this right now, it's something that they're not responsible enough to wield clearly.
Din's like, yes.
Yeah. Um uh and so I think it would be wise for me to try to figure out mm, who as this eidolon, who belongs to which demon is inside of it, um and destroy the eidolon because or contain it in such a way that this kind of thing cannot get to us. Because right now, whoever has it is they are stupid beyond belief.
Okay, I imagine that Din was facing away from Eddic this whole time, and at this, conclusion, she just like glares over her shoulder and is like, yeah. And imagine, right, she has the mask on, but like her eyes now are more furrowed, like more angry, mad, like crazy, right? Like, but also like a determinedness and almost like a defensive kind of a stance, right? To her posture now that was, before it was more like manic and now it's more like turtled up in a way and intentional. And she's just says, we need to go back. We need to go back to the hideout. I'm calling it. We need to regroup the ministry group. We need to inform the others and figure out if we need reinforcements from the rest of the ministry or to we're not moving fast enough. We're going. And I would just start like
I agree.
hurting.
But I think we might want to try to track down the Eidolon. No?
Nick, you don't remember the ministry is that your friends work for the ministry. This
But
would
didn't
be
just said hideout, right? I didn't.
she said the ministry at
yeah.
least 3 times in that. Yeah.
Oh,
she-
jeez. I was, yeah. Okay. The I agree. We need to meet up with our friends and try to get to resolve this as quick as possible. But this is starting to feel a little above my pay grade, and I do not know this ministry you speak of. What is the ministry?
My eyes just get even more narrow now, and I'm just like, you're joking?
I am a very funny person, but I do not know this ministry. Is this a club?
I know you're not the biggest fan of the ministry, but this is serious. I've just told you we have 5 days, and you were
Agreed.
contracted, and we're going.
Okay. Just 1 second. And I'm gonna do another investigate. I want to see if I can literally do what Din was trying to do when Din's brain broke. I want to see if, like, especially now that I know what it is I would be looking for, like, I'm trying to see, like, the trail of this Eidolon.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll investigate and occult, and you can take your knack. Yeah, that's a 7, which is, I believe, you take
Stress, yeah.
stress with a 7. Um, you have to lean heavily on your occult senses to track this Eidolon. And it to the point where it starts to like you start to get like a piercing headache from this like attempt to like focus your mind on the 5-day-old remnants of demonic activity within the remnants of huge demonic activity, if that makes sense. So let's roll the stress. Watch it be like a 1 just to mock us. Okay, it's a 2 on a D3. So where does that put Edic?
Are we considering this
Mind stress.
a magical side effect?
It's not magic. You did not cast a spell.
Okay.
You did use kind of occult senses to do this. Why?
Okay.
What's your ability?
Oh, well, no, it was just the like I uh have like
Oh, the
my
resist
my my
knack.
knack for the session is
Yeah.
against magical side effects.
Yeah, but it's specifically if you're rolling resist, right? And that was
Okay.
not a resist.
All
So
right, so
you
I
take
now
2.
I'm at 2 stress.
Okay, so roll a d10, and on a 1 you'll take minor fallout. It's a 2. Dodged it by this much. And your question, okay, yeah. So you're trying to like kind of track to see like where this went. Yeah, you let's see. You piece together that this the power of the Eidolon that was here, that was being fed, the demon that was kind of being fed um other Eidolons, other and Drow. It was very powerful, to the point that you think you would be able to sense if it was nearby. And you kind of push that sensory, like that demonic knowledge, like of how you would sense and feel Eidolons and power around you, demonic power around you. And besides like the kind of residue, if you will, of the incursion, there's nothing like that in New Heaven. Well, I mean, you can't get the sense of all of New Heaven, but you know that this is where, like, you are in the vicinity of where these labs are. It's not here. And that's significant to you because you know that the mistress is here, because you saw her not too long ago. And you can put together that she is not the person who would have this Eidolon on her person based on how you're kind of sensing this. And if it's not here, that means it's probably being housed somewhere else and occasionally brought to New Heaven. That's kind of what you're able to piece together. But you can't get a sense of like necessarily where it went. There's not like a trail to follow, if that makes sense. But yeah.
Okay. Uh, Didn't you seem more concerned about expedience than ever before? Do you want to go the extra special way?
Absolutely not. Probably Skywhale would be the like the most.
Skywhale, we're just through the Vrumisian. If you were able to traverse it, like, you know, kind of how you would have hired a gutterkin, walked. But Skywhale would be faster.
Right. Okay, so
Okay,
I'll be taking a Skywhale. You can go however you need.
I'll take this guy well with you. No sense in trying to go alone. I think like uh, you know, as much as he's okay, he's definitely, taken aback by everything he's seen. I mean, he knew Dan. Like they weren't close, but it was like, "Oh, hey, they're gone." Uh
They did share a special moment though, like a long full look at some point.
yeah.
Canonically.
Mhm. Um uh is there anything that like Edic would know to do like as like a rite of passing? Like obviously outside of like, the fact that the morticians are all supposed to be here and it's been 5 days and all these bodies are still here. This ain't good for ghosts and ghouls and shit.
No,
So
it isn't.
like
I think Edic would have some book knowledge just as a studied person, right? Of kind of like what the religions of Spire kind of say would be the right things to do, or like what would be typical rites. I don't think Edic's ever done any of those things before necessarily, like done last rites for anybody kind of thing. So I mean, you could certainly like kind of go through some of the motions. These bodies are not very retrievable in the sense that like one, a lot of them are not in any like type of, we can piece together a single body out of this debris, and two, the rest of them are kind of sunk into the what melted waxy floor of the building, and so it's not like you can, you know, like bury them or do anything like that. The you know that like the disposal of flesh, and in some way the returning of it to um it, like rightful places is often important in the various religions. For the followers of Charnel, that means like the eating of it and into the back into the life cycle of like the crows and the birds and things. And for the morticians, that's more of like a properly like embalming and putting it away in the necropolis where like bodies are entombed.
So as
So
far as like that would be quick and easy right now, there's nothing that like Edic can think of that would satisfy anything. Like, just a quick
if you
little
just want to be
immolation.
like, yeah, I was gonna say if like your biggest goal is not necessarily like honoring the religious rites of these people, but more like, oh, could we just get rid of the ghosts? Might be like maybe just burn the shit out of the inside of here.
I I I think like Edic is genuinely like distraught by like, okay, do we mitigate the risk of ghouls, or do we let all of those hundreds of names, like some of those people like be found? I also don't think that he feels like this is his responsibility. Uh, but at the same time, why the heck aren't, relevant parties here cleaning up this mess?
Perhaps one of the first times that Edic feels that draw to like, why aren't people taking care of the drow in a bigger
Yeah,
way? Yeah. Um,
shucks. Yeah, that's a good point. Uh, I think as like, yeah, as he's walking back with Din, hi Ava. As he's walking back with Din, I think the moment he like spies a mortician or like a carrion priest, he's gonna like fucking shake them up. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Um, yeah, you do. You find carrying, I mean, not carrying priests. They're kind of on the other side of New Heaven. Morticians here, though, are pretty common to see. They're coming and going, especially near the sky whales. And you do see some of them not too far from where this building is, because they've been tending some of the bodies that were from outside the building. Um, and yeah. Um,
Yeah, if he sees like a group of them, I mean, he'll probably just target one and I realize you guys have lots of work to do, but I don't know if you've bothered to check inside of the laboratory. Because there's like several hundred drow decaying about maybe 5 days or so, and this is not good. Um, I think you and your little cohort need to make your way about face, head back to the building, and attend to all of those bodies before I mean, you know what happens when drow get left unattended to. Um, Perhaps you should do your job.
yeah, go ahead and roll compel and religion.
Don't have that. Uh, But I do have compel.
Okay.
10, 8, 8, 8, and 8. Okay.
8 and 8. Yeah, and we need to wrap up, so I don't think we're gonna play this scene out fully, but you're in a way that had Edic's vision gone a little different and he remembered it, he might recall the feeling of what it's like to commune with Lombre, right? So directly. And there's the moment of that kind of holy God-like presence within you as you speak to and on behalf of, you speak to the morticians in this way on behalf of these drow that are from your part of town and who were kidnapped and drugged and murdered. And it's not necessary, like it is Edic's words and chastisement, but it's additionally the pressure that kind of comes of this, like, speaking from this place of divine righteousness, right? That Lombre backs this play. And Edic doesn't connect those dots necessarily because, he has specifically just kind of lost connection or like memory of like having that connection recently. But maybe a little bit Din, I think it would, weirdly enough, I think it fuels that need to break away from this group, because if that's what Lombre is endorsing, somebody who talks to demons all the time, like, it's not that what Edic said is wrong. It's that if you can feel that feeling of like Lombre swelling up around you, familiar and what should be like this kind of joyous feeling of like your goddess is with you, instead just feeds this seething feeling of like, seriously, this is what I'm supposed to be working with right now. For Din. And for the morticians is intimidating as shit. They don't know what it means either. They're not exactly, worshippers of Domnu, and so they take off, take your word, and you see them head towards it, and you make your way to your sky whale.
And I get to roll my refresh.
Yeah, hey, how about that? Go ahead and roll that. I don't think you have very much stress on you right now, do you? But you can roll that with a D8, because that was pretty cool.
Hey, okay, I'll get some of my resistances, I hope. Yay! Alright, so we're now down to 0, and I'm going to give myself all of my bloody freaking mind stress resistances back.
Hooray! Congratulations.
Yay. Okay.
And Edic and Din get on their sky wheel and head back to the hideout, as Din has dubbed it this late in the game. Which is also where Alvi and Dracul were headed, and Chew with Piss the Destroyer in tow, to regroup and kind of share new information and decide on a game plan. So I think 9 o'clock, good timing. That puts us at the end of the game for tonight. Well played, one and all. I'm sorry that I killed Dan, and I'm sorry that I have that, Sarah almost died too. Well, Dan almost died.
Yeah, I'm gonna die, basically.
Yeah, well, we'll
Not
see.
if I put a pearl in you.
Then I'm
Maybe.
pretty.
I don't know how that's gonna play out. At least over the table, is that something I should not do to a player character?
Molly Duvall did specifically tell you not to try it yourself, so that's what you know.
She's not me. Din is not me.
That's true. Ava, the reason Molly told you not to do that is because it's probably gonna hurt you. So, like,
Okay.
okay.
Good to know.
I will resist either way.
This is fair and true. Okay. That's it for us tonight. Next week, Spire is off. I'm gonna be traveling for
That's
my
okay.
best friend's wedding.
Oh yeah,
Yay.
exciting. Take lots of
Yay.
pictures because I won't be there because
Yes.
life.
But your mother and father and sister and brother-in-law all will be, and I'll get to see them, and I'm stoked. So I will, yes, we'll send you photos. And yeah, I will be gone, but then the week after that, we should be back on our full roster, ready to go and push in. And we will also be discussing amongst the players, but I will preview it for you all. Some advances. You're definitely taking a high advance, probably something else as well, because a lot of things have shaken out in these little vignettes. So keep an eye on the Discord players. I will let you know exactly what to take, but you can start investigating what you'd like for a high advance. And then I'll let you know what it's going to be for anything else besides just the high advance. Okay, yes. So you have 2 weeks to decide what your high advance is going to be. We'll talk about it on the next thing. Yes, as Andy just did in the chat, you can use !Discord to find out information. Not that the bot did it. To find out more information about the Discord and join us. We're a pretty cool community, and you can also use !merch to support artists in our community. One of whom is currently featured is Chelsea, who is in the chat now. Yay! And finally, you can use donate to find out about causes near and dear to our hearts. Currently, hope for Haiti. Get that nurch. Is there anything? Oh, see you tomorrow at 7 Mountain Time. Yeah, for Moon Tree Isle. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yep.
Good night. Sleep
Yeah.
well, everybody.
Sleep well.
Good night, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.